Hi Nathan. So I hear that you're the newest member of the A Sharp family.
I am. I'm the rookie or the
rookie?
I don't know, what do you call it?
What's the rookie?
What do they call them in the police guys? It's a rookie, right?
Yeah. Newbie?
Newbie? Noob?
Noob? You're the noob.
Junior?
You're the noob. Junior, yeah, maybe junior.
Richard, am I the youngest person here too?
You're definitely the youngest, yes.
Definitely noob, rookie, you, junior, tiger,
Yeah.
sport,
Tiger.
pal, any
You
of
call yourself
those.
a tiger.
No, you know, like all those condescending puns that people, like names that they give you when
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
appear to be bigger than you.
But you specifically want to be known as the tiger of A Sharp Studio. Right,
This is
hi
going
Nathan.
terribly.
Welcome. You're the tiger. So how did you actually kind of get into being production and engineer? Like, how has this been your career choice?
I kind of like wung it, really, to be honest with you. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I went and studied audio production.
Yeah.
I just knew that I really liked music, and I wanted to be involved in making records. So the motive was kind of, I don't know, I used to just grow up listening to records religiously and obsessing over every little facet about, you know,
Yeah.
what's going on in the record, who made this and why that happened and all this sort of stuff like that. And I just sort of decided one day that I want to be a part of that. I want to have something to do with that.
Yeah.
So I decided to go study audio production, and then I realized that I really liked it. So I sort of kicked it off from there, basically,
Very cool.
and just applied myself a lot.
Yeah. So did you have like early influences that kind of really kicked that into the gear to go and study it?
Yeah, I think like discovering bands, which I probably did a bit late, but like bands like Radiohead or something like that, where you like, you listen to the production of the record and it is its own instrument, you know what I mean? Like it's its own song within the song. There's something else there.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's kind of like the mix and the production and the balance and the aesthetics of the whole record is its own instrument within the track. Like it doesn't just portray the track as written, it actually creates another component. It's definitely above and beyond what most people do when it comes to record production. So that kind of stuff like just used to blow my mind.
Yeah.
And I thought that was super cool, and I wondered how people did that and like, or what was the procedure for getting into that situation. And I'm really bossy. I like to tell people what to do. So I was kind of like, maybe I could tell musos how to write their songs.
Whoa, okay. So you get really involved in the sense of like the songwriting.
I
kind
love
of
to,
area.
if I can. It depends. It always changes per client and what they're looking for
Yeah.
out of you as a producer or an engineer. But if I can, I will definitely sink my teeth into a track.
Okay, so do you play any instruments yourself in the sense of like that?
Oh, I can. I'm going to use that word.
Yes.
Can play the drums and the piano and a little bit of guitar, but I would not say I'm very good at them.
Okay.
Enough to understand them, you know? Enough to be able to sort of relate to the musician and communicate with them and know what they're trying to do and understand, which I think are three pretty essential instruments in almost any genre of music, really.
Yeah, well,
There's only a handful of genres of music where those things wouldn't be components.
I can't actually think of any off the top of my head
No.
that don't include those
Even
components,
electronic
but-
music may not have real drums, you're still writing percussion.
So is that kind of like important for you when you're producing or engineering, being able to kind of understand the instruments
Totally.
in the space?
I don't think I'd be able to do what it is that I do or anyone else does if you don't really have an understanding of that instrument,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. No, I can.
And it could be a loose understanding too. It doesn't have to be so straightforward of like, I know exactly what those chords are or that particular method of playing is. But just to understand the idea and what value that particular instrument can bring to a certain track and how it can and cannot sound and what you favor about it yourself and try to borrow from that and put that into the song.
Okay. So do you have any like particular techniques that or tips that kind of help you when you're in the recording space that you just have as general rules?
To be honest with you, I don't. Like, that was the one thing that I kind of went, I don't really know. I just kind of wing it. I know that sounds really
Go with
unprofessional,
what
but
feels right.
but I honestly do believe, and we were kind of laughing about this before, that everyone in the music industry is kind of winging it. And it's the deeper I go and the further I get into my career and the more people I meet, no one has any idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of just like going off previously learnt knowledge, but still not really sure because it's so fickle. It's an art form. You can't really ground rules around it. It doesn't work like that. You know the things that you know and you apply them where they're necessary.
Yeah.
But there's definitely not hard and fast rules for me. I don't really come in with a preconceived idea of this has to be like that. Besides basic things like everything has to be in time
Yep.
and in key.
Yep.
Cool. The rest is totally like whatever, you know?
Okay. So, do you have like music that you really enjoy producing that's like the favorite that you kind of go, oh yes, I can't believe I got this project?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't really have a genre of music that I favor too much, but it's more like really emotive music, like quite dramatic or emotional. It'll get me every time. I can really sink into anything. It doesn't have to be epic. It can be melodramatic. I don't know. Somehow I'm a bit of a sadist, maybe. Like I like dark and
You want to feel something inside.
yeah, like sort of jaded subject matter where you kind of feel like this person's a little messed up. I'm really interested in this. But then in the polar, I've also produced a lot of sort of happy-go-lucky stuff too, which is really fun because it kind of becomes a little less weighty in what you're doing. You're just trying to have a jam.
Yeah. Okay.
So preferences, I mean, look, I don't really do anything too heavily electronic or R&B, sort of stuff like that. But outside of those kind of genres, I'm pretty much keen to work on whatever.
Yeah.
As long as the song's good, you know? As long as the subject's real and I can feel there's some weight behind what's going on.
Yeah. So you want to feel connected to it. Is that kind of like the biggest challenge for you as a producer, to feel connected to the
Totally.
artist that you're
Sometimes you
producing?
don't, and you can't help that, you know? It's not the artist's fault, it's not your fault. Maybe you're just not picking up what they're putting down. Yeah. That's reality. Like, you can't possibly imagine that every relationship in your life's just going to go smoothly and you're just going to click with everything that you do. So sometimes what you can do in that situation is just find the elements that you like about what they're doing and try and bring them forward and like, I don't know, I've never found myself in a situation where I've gone, I just can't do this.
Okay.
Well, that's a lie, actually. I have. But
you'll give it a
it
go,
doesn't
kind of
happen
make it
very
work.
often. Most of the time you'll find something about the artist or the track, or even if it's just a cool guitar part that keeps reoccurring that you're really vibing on or whatever. And yeah, like you just basically, you'll find your own part in that song.
Yeah.
And that will get you
Over
through the other side, and you'll be able to develop that connection with the track, which allows you to put a bit of yourself into it, which is important, I think, anyway.
As a producer. Okay.
Well, even as an engineer, like, you may not have a say in the actual structure of the track or the way that things are sort of gluing together or the writing or the arrangements and stuff like that. But if you have a connection to the sonics, it might inspire you. You know, you could just be solely concerned with a super cool drum sound that you come up with and just wanting to make that work in the track outside of having anything to do with the arrangement of a song. And you're just basically engineering. You're just worried about the aesthetics. But if you could put yourself into that and a bit of your, like, vibe or flavor or whatever the shit is you call it,
You.
then that's what you need. That's what you want to do.
Awesome. Okay. So is there like a single thing that's been like the best decision that you've made in your life professionally so far?
Oh,
I mean, especially since you like
I think it's more of a, like, an ongoing decision to just constantly take risks. Like, I used to work at a bar pouring beers and, like, making records on the weekend, or whenever I just didn't have to work and I could find some bands that would pay me to work with them. And one day I just went, nah, screw it, I'm just quitting, I'm just gonna do it. And I just went out there and I was super broke for super long, but it also gave me the motive, because I was in the deep end.
Yeah.
You know, to just make it happen and to do it, and then now I'm like gainfully employed record producer, so that's really cool. Like,
awesome. Okay, well that's really, really incredible, and it's an absolutely amazing thing that you're here at A Sharp as well.
Yeah.
Is there like an appeal in being here at A Sharp for you?
What I really like about A Sharp, besides all this completely sexy gear that's surrounding me right now, I feel like I'm in a strip club for audio nerds. You know what I mean?
I've heard that passed around a bit, yeah.
I think what I really like about the place and that it's appealed to me so far is that it's brand new and it's like a blank canvas of a studio, like where it's going to go, what sort of, let me find my words here. I guess kind of like think about like what direction will this place go? What will come of it?
Yeah.
You know, what records will become. It's quite exciting because it's only been around for 6-8 months or something. And it's just starting to get traction now, and I don't know, it just feels like kind of like a really interesting position because most studios in Sydney have been around for quite a long time. They get a reputation. They have certain characters that are tied to it that have been there forever. They have certain relationships with different other components of the industry where A Sharp is just like brand new and the world's your oyster kind of vibe. And just to be a part of that and to like, it's kind of exciting, you know, like just to feel like, oh, sweet, I have no idea what's going to happen with this studio and my position with this studio at all, but like there's just a great team of people here and thus far is already proven to exponentially grow, and I think it will continue, and it's really exciting to see what might happen in the future with this sort of I guess this crew of people and this space.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what you produce here at A Sharp definitely in the next year. Do you have plans for the next year?
No, I don't plan anything. I told you that.
Well, thank you so much for your time. That was absolutely fantastic, and we look forward to seeing everything that you're going to do here.
Cool. Thank you.